Hey everybody, it's Josh Thomas here from TheBitBlock, and I am sitting back doing another little discussion video on a topic that I've been thinking about. As many of you know, this is a type of video that I've been doing a lot more of, and I've really been enjoying it because it gives me the opportunity to hear from you guys, and then I can respond to you, and we can get a good discussion going about our thoughts on the topic that I choose in these videos. So I just did a video just a little bit ago, and it's titled, Nintendo NX is Wii's True Successor? And that video actually got a lot of discussion going. There's people who disagreed with me, people who agreed with me, and I think that's great. It's nice to have a discussion in the comments, I think. That video, however, and the feedback I got from that video has inspired this video. And as you already know from the title, I want to talk about third-party support on Nintendo's consoles. Just third-party Nintendo support. As many of you know, it's never really been, at least not since like the NES days, it's never really been Nintendo's strong point. Generally, when you're looking for the latest Call of Duty or Battlefield or Assassin's Creed game, you're probably not looking for it on a Nintendo system. I think there's a variety of reasons for that. We'll probably go into that in a little bit. But yeah, so where do we begin here? Nintendo and third-party support. Well, I think the best way to format this video is probably to pose this question to you, and I will answer it myself. How can Nintendo get great third-party support on the Nintendo NX? So, my feelings are this. I think Nintendo needs to have something so cool, so original and fun with the Nintendo NX. Something about this system or the controller needs to be so fun that it's going to spark really good sales. People are going to be excited by it. People are going to be talking about the Nintendo NX and how new and fresh it is. And in doing that, I think they're going to get third parties to become inspired. Third parties are going to say, okay, Nintendo has this new system. A lot of people are excited about it. A big range of different types of people are excited about it. Let's come up with original ideas, original IPs, or completely original takes on their current IPs. The reason I say this is because, okay, get your pitchforks ready. Get ready to throw stuff at your screen at me. I don't think Nintendo will ever really be the console to go to for all of these popular third-party hardcore games. You're never going to buy a Nintendo system because you want the latest and greatest version of Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or a realistic sports game. It's just not going to happen. You see, Disney does not make hardcore slasher horror films. They don't make raunchy comedies because they know that that's not their strong suit. They're not about that. They're not going to be able to do that really well. Disney focuses on its strengths, making really clever animated films that cater to not only young kids, but also adults who are young kids at heart. And that's what Nintendo, I think, really needs to do. And I think that's what their third-party developers really need to do. When you look at some of the most successful third-party games on modern Nintendo consoles, they're often kind of channeling what it means to be a Nintendo game. The Raving Rabbids, whether you hate them or love them, there's no denying that they were really kind of like a Nintendo character. And now they have like their own show on Nickelodeon. They've been massively successful with their Wii games. They've even got successful smartphone apps. And I think the reason is because they're very endearing, wacky, colorful characters. The gameplay is very simple and fun and addictive. It's something you can play with friends and family. And I think that's kind of what it means to be a Nintendo game in many ways. So yeah, I guess my answer to this in terms of how can Nintendo finally get some really successful third-party games on their system, I think the answer is make a system that not only sells well, but also inspires them to think beyond the port. Don't make a system to where third parties are like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll bring Assassin's Creed to your system, Nintendo. Because honestly, what you'll find is that version of Assassin's Creed on Nintendo NX, it's not going to sell as well as the version on the Xbox and on PC and on PlayStation. Yeah, kind of sucks, but it's not really a bad thing. It's just Nintendo is a family-friendly company. And if you're making games that are targeted at this sort of gamer who's male and in their 20s or 30s who likes to just sit back after work with a normal controller and just, play a game in the darkness, then you're probably going to fail. But if you think, all right, what would Nintendo do? I think they're going to have a lot of success. This is also something I wanted to tack on here. Maybe a little controversial. I don't think this will be controversial, actually. So I have a question for you guys. What was the first game system from Nintendo that you bought and really started to fall in love with? Was it the Super Nintendo, the original Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, maybe the GameCube, heck, maybe even the Wii, maybe even as current as the Wii or the Wii U or the DS or the Game Boy? What was your first Nintendo system that you, that you really loved? I am willing to bet that you played it as a kid, right? When you were a young kid, that's when you fell in love with Nintendo. For me personally, it was like during the Super Nintendo days, I think. I played the original Nintendo, but I think I had a Super Nintendo alongside of it. And I played all these great games. Super Mario World and Yoshi, and I played all these great games from Nintendo as a kid. And then on the N64, I was still kind of a kid, getting a little bit older, and I started to grow up, right? And I think some people play Nintendo as a kid and they grow up, but Nintendo doesn't grow up. Nintendo stays Nintendo. They're always going to be about appealing to a younger demographic, about appealing to a family audience. But you might start to think, I want the Resident Evil type games. I want the Bayonetta type games. I want the really detailed, advanced hardcore games. But I think what you need to realize is Nintendo, just like Disney, is not really in the market to appealing to 30-year-old males. They want you to buy the games, but they kind of want you to keep that child mentality. As you can see, I am definitely that. I'm pretty much like the real world Peter Pan. I'm not going to grow up, so I'm pretty much okay with Nintendo constantly being about simple, easy to understand games like Super Mario 64 or, a 2D Mario game or Yoshi and Mario. I think what I'm saying is it possible that maybe you grew up but Nintendo didn't, and you expect Nintendo to grow up with you, and you want Nintendo to have the greatest version of Assassin's Creed? I know I keep using Assassin's Creed as the example, but it's mainly because I generally don't play those kind of games. So, like Resident Evil and stuff like that, and Dead Space. Like, those games might be what you want now as an adult, but you need to understand Nintendo's not in the market to really appeal to that kind of thing, just like Disney is not in the market to make really gritty, violent movies. So I guess what I'm saying is you can't blame Nintendo for always being Nintendo, because Nintendo needs to really appeal to its strong points. And the reason I'm saying all that is because I feel the same thing is true for Nintendo's third-party developers. If they're really going to find success on a Nintendo system, they need to think like Nintendo, and they need to stop just giving us ports of what they're doing on the other systems, because they're going to see that they don't sell as well. And history has taught us this, by the way. It's been done. We've gotten, Call of Duty and stuff. We've even gotten Grand Theft Auto on Nintendo systems, and they don't sell as well. And the reason is the audience just really isn't there. I guess it is probably fair to say the reason the reason Grand Theft Auto didn't sell well on, like, the Nintendo DS is because it was clearly a massively inferior product. But nevertheless, there's been multiple occasions where Nintendo also got the latest big third-party game that was on the Xbox and PlayStation, and it just didn't sell that well. They always sell the worst. In fact, let's say holiday of 2017, there's a new Assassin's Creed game coming out from Ubisoft. It's on the PlayStation, it's on the Xbox, it's on PC, and it's on the Nintendo NX. Which one of these systems do you think it's going to sell the worst on? The answer is the Nintendo NX. I don't even need to know what the NX is about to know that, because I know what Nintendo's market and what their audience should be. So, not trying to be... Maybe I'm wrong. It's happened before, obviously. But I really think that Nintendo needs to think like Disney and dominate what they're good at. And in doing that, Andre is messaging... Andre's telling me I need to make my videos longer. I just got a Facebook message from Andre telling me to make my videos longer. What is he talking about? Your NX1 fell 45 seconds short of me finishing my walk home. Gosh. I'm keeping this in. I'm keeping this Andre interruption in the video. What a dingbat. Such a boring. Okay. Anyways, now I've totally lost my train of thought. The video is longer now because he's prolonging it. But anyways, if I ever, I don't mean to step on any toes. I don't mean to start arguments. You guys can disagree with me. Maybe you think that Nintendo could be a success bringing the latest and greatest hardcore sports games and shooters that you see on the other consoles to the NX. I personally don't see it happening. I want the NX to be a success. And so, yeah, we'll see. I'm not saying NX shouldn't have any hardcore games. I'm just saying that if they're going to be there, they need to be as clever as a Nintendo game from third parties. Anyways, guys, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe if you have not already. Like I just said, let's keep it civil. Let's have a good discussion in the comments section. That's why I like doing these videos. Seriously, I like doing these where I just sit down and chat with you because I like to hear everybody's opinion in the comments. Actually, as absolutely insane as this is, I read most of the comments that are left on videos on this channel. So yeah, let's hear from you. And yeah, see you guys next time. I gotta yell at Andre. He's ruining my wonderfully professional videos. All right, see you guys later.